Okay, hello YouTube. In this video I want to show you the difference between a cheap saw blade for your hacksaw and an expensive saw blade for your hacksaw. This one looks a little bit old and rusty, and I found them, they're about 20 years old, and I got them for free. Normally one of those hacksaw blades costs about $2 to $3, and they're HSS bi-metal, as you see, and that's a very nice saw blade, and they got very nice tempered and quenched, heat treated very well. So these saw blades are a little bit cheaper, cost about 20 cents, so $2 for 10 pieces, and these are really cheap ones, and I will show you the difference why I don't like these cheap ones and I will never buy them again, because they're only made for cutting plastic, aluminum, maybe brass, but that's it. If you cut something harder like steel or even stainless steel or even knife steel, a good carbon steel or whatever, they don't do a good job, but you will see. My teacher, my student class, I was maybe my apprenticeship, he told me that the best rate of cutting for a hacksaw blade is 1 cut per second. So that is a nice cutting speed for your teeth to not break out, to not overheat your saw blade. Yes, you can overheat your saw blade very easily. And that means that the teeth gonna break out and they get dull pretty quickly. And otherwise your saw blade will hold up much longer if you cut with the right speed or even a little bit slower. So now, as you can hear, we put a little bit of pressure on the saw blade. That's what you need to not bend it in every direction you don't want it. And now I'm gonna cut our first line. Even cuts better than I thought. Yep. But this is only 2.5mm steel, so already cringed the saw blade. I hope you can see that, the wave it's making, and I hope you can see that, because these teeth are already rounded out. So what I'm gonna do now, take a bigger piece, about 4.5mm, and just try to make 1 cut straight down. Best way you can say it is here. And it's just catastrophic. Okay, now I reached the level I would like to, and I'm gonna go on a little bit. As you see, I barely got about 5mm and this is thick steel, and we barely got about 2 centimeters or 2.5, about 1 inch of the small steel cut. And now we really reached the level. As you see here, already you can see the grind offs. But okay, now you can see these teeth. They're already ground down completely. They're absolutely dull. They're somewhere there are not even more any teeth. They're just completely ground down. It's just such a cheap saw blade that the teeth are just gone, and they do not cut at all. You can, as you see, you can put your finger with full pressure over the saw blade and you do not even feel anything. It's just like pulling your hand over the flat side, just with some riffles. You see, I'm cutting my fingernail now. And barely some scratches. That's it. If you would do that with a new one, you would immediately get through your fingernail. Hurts like hell. But don't do that. Ooh, real nice. What the fuck? Look here. Here we really got no teeth anymore. As you see, that's absolutely what should not happen to a saw blade. Because these are really cheap, very cheap saw blades. And always, the saw blade, always put it in so the teeth show to the front. I had it ran the wrong side in, so you turn it around. That's because a hacksaw makes the best cuts by pushing, not by pulling. Pulling is with a wooden saw, pushing is with a metal saw. That's the main difference. You can also pull, but it doesn't work as well, I think. And I learned it to get pushed, not pulled. So, now the right direction, and I don't wanna, just one, as you see, it's already deeper than the other one was, only with one time sliding over, but this one is a new one, so okay. Let's have a cut. And I will start at this already started cut here, just to show you it's not hardened or anything, and you can cut normal here. And you see that one stroke, and you can see how the saw blade is rising down. Okay, now we go on. So, always loosen your blade, saw blade. Just don't loosen it completely, because else you will lose the bolts. But always loosen your saw blade so it's got less stress and holds up longer. Just a little bit. So if you always have it under pressure or under tension, it will start to bend much faster. My personal opinion. So, now, as you saw, in comparison of cutting speed, it's just unstoppable, this blade. And just to show you what really happened to this blade, this is still the same blade we cut. As you see, we sometimes get some material stuck between the teeth or into the teeth, but all the teeth, if you feel it if you pull your hand over them, the teeth are sharp. They're very sharp. They're almost just as new. As you see, there's a little bit of color away from the blade, but not a lot. As you see, the teeth themselves, hope you can see that very well. They're just all fine. They're already able to cut wood. Very well, you see that? They're very sharp. No dull teeth at all. So, that's it for cutting with your hacksaw. And always remember, try to get about 1 pull per second, a bit more, not a problem at all. Matters depends on how thick your material is which you cut and how long you cut. If you just have a short little bolt, doesn't matter if you go a bit faster, but if you have a thick piece of material, you should go down, slow down with your speed, and give the saw blade time to cool, and do not overheat it as said, always have it under good tension, and do not lubricate your saw blade. I did it once in my apprenticeship, and I had to throw it away, because if you lubricate it even with cutting oil, with a special tap or thread cutting oil, it's not a good idea. Even with cooling liquid, the mixture between oil and water, you know, most machines use, even that one, it lubricates too much, so you will only slide over the material and you feel it's only sliding and it's not cutting anymore. So let it dry, cut it dry with your saw, with your hacksaw, because the teeth are just too small to get lubricated. Yeah, and that's it for today. We go on, as you see, main comparison difference between the two saw blades, the cheap one and the good one, are cutting speed. So we have almost triple the cutting speed, I would say, than with the other saw blade, and the length of cutting. I mean, I have here about 1 inch and here about 5 millimeters of cutting, and that's it. The blade is gone. You know, it's destroyed. You have to throw it away. And for 20 cents, we'll say a cut 1 centimeter in this material for 20 cents. That's way too expensive. I had $2 for over 10 times, or over 20, or over 50 times the cutting power. So really, take your money to the good level, buy better tools, because they're worth it. They're absolutely worth it. Yeah. As you see, we cut here about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. Yeah, in average they're about 1 inch. So we got 5 inches, and the other one 1 centimeter, so half an inch. Let's say it's half an inch, and half an inch versus 5 inches. That's 10 times more. And as I said, these teeth are like new, and the other saw blade we need to throw away. So, hope you liked my video of the blade comparison from the hacksaw, and please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.